Good morning, students. In the previous class, we discussed about the concentration of the solutions. The concentration of the solutions is expressed quantitatively in the different ways that we are discussed in the previous class. That is the molality, then mole fraction and mass percentage, volume percentage and mass by volume percentage. These and all we are discussing in the previous class. In this class, we are going to be discussing about the solubility. Then what is meant by solubility? Solubility. We are so many times using this word solubility. These gases are soluble in this particular liquids. Like that we are going to be saying different ways of solubility of any compound. If we are going to be taken the any compounds that we are discussing about is one of the properties, solubility, that we are going to be discussing so many times in day-to-day life. That is, now solubility means that is the solute, the amount of solute that can be dissolved, the amount of solute that can be dissolved in a given amount of solvent at a particular temperature. Is called as solubility. Solubility means that is amount of solute that can be dissolved in a given amount of solvent at a particular temperature is called as solubility. This solubility depends on different factors. It depends upon the solubility depends on the nature of solute, then nature of solvent, then temperature. It depends on the temperature and pressure. This the solubility depends on these factors. How these factors affect on the solubility we will discuss now. That is, first we are going to be discussing about the solubility of solid. Solubility of solids in liquids. This we are going to be discussing. That is solubility of solids in liquids. Here the solid is added to the liquid. The solid particles start dissolving in the solvent. After some time, that is, it increases the concentration of the solution. It increases the concentration of the solution with the time. Means, you suppose you are going to be taken the 1 glass of water. Okay, you will take the water in a glass. The water in a glass, you are going to be taken as a water in a glass. This is the liquid. The water in a glass. You are going to be taken a glass of water. For that, the first you are going to be add the 2 spoons of salts. That is the salt. You are going to be adding the salt to the water. 2 spoons of salt you are going to be added to the water. At that time, what happens? It's going to be dissolves in the water. The salt is dissolves in the water. The concentration of the solution is going to be increases with the time. Again, 2 more spoons you are going to be added to the same solution. Again, that salt also dissolves with the time. Again, the concentration is going to be increases. The concentration of the solution is going to be increases. After again adding of the salt to the same solution, at that time what happens is the solute particles present in the solution collides with the solute. It gets separated from the solution. This process we called as a crystallization. This you people are observed in our daily life. Just take 1 glass of water, add 2 spoons of sugar first. It dissolves. Again 2 spoons of sugar. It dissolves. Again 2 spoons you are going to make. Maybe that also dissolves. After adding again 2 spoons of sugar means it gets separated from the solution. That process we called as a crystallization. Means dissolution and the crystallization. It is the opposite. That is, dissolution means the solute particles is going to be dissolved in the solvent. The solute particles is dissolved in the solvent, that we called as a dissolution. The concentration increases, the concentration of solution increases with that time. This we called as a dissolution. Then again, that is the adding after some time the solute particle. Again adding of the solute to the solution. It will be collide between the solute present in the solution. Then it gets separated out. It is going to be formed a crystals. The crystals separated from out of the solution. Then this process we called as a crystallization. At a particular time, at particular stage, what happens? The rate of dissolution is equal to the rate of dissolution is equal to rate of the crystallization. At that time, the solute, that is solute plus solvent is equilibrium with the solution. Means in this case, we call it as a dynamic equilibrium. This we call as a dynamic equilibrium. The rate of dissolution is equal to the rate of the crystallization. That we call as a dynamic equilibrium. That stage we call stage solution we called as a saturated solution. That we call as a saturated solution. Here, what is meant by this saturated solution? Saturated solution means saturated solution means the no more salt can be dissolved in the solution. And it means no more salt can be dissolved in the solution. That solution we call as a saturated solution. That is the solution we call as. Then what is meant by unsaturated solution? It is the opposite to the saturated solution. Some more salt can be dissolved under the same temperature and the pressure is called as an unsaturated solution. Means here the saturated solution means the no more salt can be dissolved at a particular temperature and the pressure, that we call as a saturated solution. Then unsaturated solution means some more salt can be some more solute can be dissolved. Some more solute can be dissolved by at the same temperature and the pressure is called as a unsaturated solution. Here the solubility of solids in the liquids, when it comes to the solubility of the solids in the liquids, that is the solute, that is solid solute. The solid is going to be added to the liquid. It starts dissolving the solid particles in the liquid. It starts dissolving the solid particles in the liquid. At that time, the concentration of the solution is increases with that time. The concentration of the solution is increases with the time. Then it increases with the time. Then that we called as this process we called as a dissolution. This we call as a dissolving of the solid in the liquid. This we call as a dissolution. After again adding of this solid particles to the same solution, it starts collide with the solute already present in the solution with the solute particles. It starts to separate the crystals from the solution. That process we call as a crystallization. At a particular stage, the rate of dissolution is equal to the rate of crystallization. That stage we call as a dynamic equilibrium. That is the solute plus solvent gives rise to the solution. This we call as a. Then in that stage, the solution we call as a saturated solution. Here, saturated solution means no more salt can be dissolved. That is, no more salt can be dissolved. No more salt can be dissolved. That we call as a that solution we call as a saturated solution. Then unsaturated solution is some more salt can be dissolved, that we call as a unsaturated solution. Now we are going to be discussing about some factors which affect on the solubility of solids in the liquids. That is, when it comes to that factors affecting on solubility. That is, factors which affect on the solubility of, that is, solids in liquid. The first one we are going to be taken the nature. That is the nature of solute and solvent. Nature of solute and the solvent. And the second one is temperature. Then third one is, that is, pressure. The pressure. How these factors which affect on the solubility of solids in the liquid we discuss now. That is the first we are going to be discussing about the nature of solute. That is nature of the solute and the solvent. Nature of the solute and the solvent. When it comes to the nature of the solute and solvent, here the polar solutes is dissolved in the polar solvent. Polar solutes is dissolved in the polar solvent, and non-polar solutes is dissolved in the non-polar solvents. This about the nature of the solute and the solvent. Means the polar solutes can be dissolved in the polar solvents. The non-polar solutes can be dissolved in the non-polar solvents. But the polar solutes are insoluble. That is non-soluble or insoluble in the, that is non-polar solvent. Non-polar solutes not dissolved in the polar solvents. This about the nature of the solute and the solvent. The next we are going to be discussing about the temperature. Here the solubility of solid in liquids. The solubility of solids in liquid is increases with the increase of the temperature. In the most cases, in the most of the salts, that is example, if you are going to be taken the ammonium chloride, potassium iodide, sodium nitrate. These are all salts. Example, if you are going to be taken that, this most of the salts are like that is sodium nitrate, NaNO3, then potassium iodide, ammonium chloride, etc. These are all salts, but what happens? The solubility of these salts is increases with the increase of the temperature. With the increase of the temperature. Why? Because of this solubility of these salts in the solvents, in the liquids. The solubility of these salts in the liquid is an endothermic. Process. That is the change in the enthalpy of the solution. The change in the enthalpy of the solution is greater than 0. With the increases of the temperature, the solubility also increases. In some cases, some particular cases, in some particular that is sodium carbonate. In case of sodium carbonate, that is NaNO3, sodium carbonate. That is in case of sodium carbonate, what happens? And some other salts, some organic base salts also. What happens means, in this case, the solubility is going to be decreases with the increase of the temperature. The solubility is decreases with the increase of the temperature, because in these salts, that is the solubility of these salts in the liquids is exothermic. Means that is a change in the enthalpy is less than 0. Therefore, what happens in some cases, most of the salts, we are going to be taken the most of the salts is dissolved in the, that is solubility in the liquids increases with the increase of the temperature. In some cases, what happens? It is going to be, solubility is going to be decreases with the increase of the temperature. Why it is going to be decreases? Because of exothermic. Why it is going to be increases? Because the solubility of the salts in the liquid is endothermic process. That's why it is going to be increases. This about that is the effect of temperature. The effect of temperature on the solubility of solids in liquids. The next we are going to be discussing about the last factor, that is the pressure. Here the effect of pressure on the solubility of solids in the liquids is completely negligible. Negligible. It does not affect the solubility of solids in the liquid. This is about the factors which affect on the solubility of solids in the liquids. That is the nature of solute and the solvent, and the temperature and the pressure. Yeah, nature of the solute and the solvent, when it comes to that is polar solutes is dissolved in the polar solvent. Then non-polar solute dissolves in the non-polar solvents. In the temperature, some salts, most of the salts is going to be solubility is increases with the increase of the temperature. In some salts, that is sodium carbonate, like that, some organic based salts, what happens? It is going to be decreases. That is solubility is going to decreases with the increase of the temperature. This and then effect of the pressure is going to be negligible. This is about the factors which affect on the solubility of the solids in the liquids. We are going to be discussing about that is solubility of gas in liquids. That is the solubility of gas in liquids means that is the gas is soluble in the liquids, it forms a homogeneous solutions. It forms a homogeneous solutions. That is the solubility of the gas in the liquids. It depends on the factors, that is the nature of the nature of the solute, the nature of the gas. It depends upon the nature of the gas. That is the nature of the solute and the solvent. Nature of solute and solvent. Then the second one is temperature. It depends on the temperature. And third one is pressure. Here the solubility of gas in liquids. We know that the nature of the solute and the solvent is the first factor. Means the gases which are easily liquefiable. The gases which are easily liquefiable. The gases. Which are the gases is easily liquefiable? That is carbon dioxide. That is CO2 and the ammonia. That is when it comes to that CO2, NH3. These, that is the carbon dioxide and ammonia gases. These are easily liquefiable gases. These gases and the gases which forms ions in the solvent. The gases which forms ions in the solvent. Like that, that is the gases like that HCl, NH3. These are all gases which forms ions in the solvent. These are easily liquefiable, that is easily soluble in the that is the liquids. These are the gases which are easily, that is soluble in the liquids. Means the gases which are easily liquefiable, the gases which forms ions are more soluble in the liquids, more soluble in the liquids. This is about the nature of the solute and the solvent. The next we are going to be discussing about the temperature. Here the solubility of gas in the solvent. That is solubility of the gas in the liquids. A solvent is liquid. The solubility of the gas in the liquid is increases with the decrease of the temperature. With the decrease of the temperature, means the solubility is increases. The temperature is, when the temperature is decreases, means the solubility of the gas in the liquid is usually is an exothermic process. Why it is the solubility is increases with the increase of the temperature, means because the solubility of the gas in the liquid is an exothermic process. Therefore, the solubility is increases with the decrease of the temperature. Due to this reason only, the aquatic animals are more comfortable in the cold water than the warm water. When compared to the warm water, then aquatic animals are more comfortable in the cold water. This is about the effect of temperature and the solubility of gas in the liquids. The next we are going to be discussing about the effect of pressure. When it comes to the effect of pressure, in this case what happens, it is going to be the pressure is going to be increases, the solubility of gas in the liquids also be increases. The pressure is increases, the solubility of the gas is going to be increases. This means in this case easily liquefiable gases, the gases which forms ions in the liquids that can be easily soluble in the liquids, that we are discussed in the first point. How it affects means, then the temperature, the solubility of gas in liquids is increases with the decrease of the temperature. In the pressure what happens, the solubility of the gas in liquids is increases with the increase of the that is pressure, means temperature is rises, the solubility is going to be decreases. Otherwise, the temperature is decreases, the solubility is going to be increases. In this case, the pressure is increases, the solubility also increases. This about the factors which affect on the solubility of gas in the liquids. This effect of pressure on the solubility of gas in the liquids will discuss in the next class, that is Henry's law. This is explained by the Henry's law. We will discuss in the next class.